Hi everyone, my name is Ariana Montoya and today I will be presenting to you my genre analysis project, Rough Draft. For this project, I will be analyzing Explaining My Depression to My Mother, A Conversation by Sabrina Benign. This document is a poem in which the intended audience is those who struggle with depression. Benign expresses how although depression can make one feel many different ways, it is difficult to understand what those feelings mean. This poem is also intended for those who may know someone with depression. It gives them an insight of what the mental illness is like and how confusing it may be. Being that this document is a poetry piece, which are usually more personal as this one is, I believe this poem was originally composed in Benigne's personal space such as her bedroom, office, or workspace, where she later performed the poem at the 2014 National Poetry Slam in Toronto, Canada. This poem was written to bring awareness to depression, a mental health disorder characterized by persistently depressed mood or loss of interest in activities, causing significant impairment in daily life. Now that I've established the main genre, we can go into discussing microgenres, which allow us to develop a deeper understanding of the poem's meaning. Some microgenres included in this piece are lyric poetry, which is usually more personal, portraying the poet's feelings and emotions, usually in the form of a song, and algae poetry, which is typically mournful and sad, which expresses sorrow for someone who has died. Although Benign does not write her poem in the form of a song, it still has the qualities of a lyric poem. She dives deep into her emotions and reveals to the audience the personal conversation that occurred between her and her mother about her depression. Her poem can also be classified as an algae poem. It is not directly about death, but the author discusses how she's more afraid of living than dying and how the emotions she feels are so overwhelming that she wants to die. Conventions of this poem. Literary devices Benign uses in her prose form poem include alliteration, anaphora, personification, repetition, simile, and imagery. Below you will see examples of these literary devices from the poem itself. Alliteration. Until my bones are the forgotten fossils of a skeleton sunken city. As you can see, the emphasis here is on skeleton sunken city, as the alliteration is applied for all those words to have the same beginning sound. Next, we have anaphora. Mom says, try lighting candles. Mom says, I thought the problem was that you can't get out of bed. Mom says. Throughout the poem, the anaphora Mom says is used to create the conversation-like style of the poem that occurs between the author and her mother. Personification. Mom. Each night, insomnia sweeps me into its arms, dips me in the kitchen by the small glow of the stove light. Here, personification is used to apply human characteristics to insomnia, which we all know, in reality, is not the case. Doing so, the author provides emphasis on how intense the depression she feels is. Next, we have repetition. Sure, I make plans, but I don't want to go. I make plans because I know I should want to go. In this situation, the author uses repetition to express the fact that an attempt to make plans does occur. If you are to watch the performance video, you'll realize how, as the author adds emphasis as she continues to make these statements, she draws the audience in to allow them to have a deeper focus on what she is discussing. Next, we have imagery. They ring in my ears like clumsy church bells, reminding me I am sleepwalking on an ocean of happiness I cannot baptize myself in. Here you can see that the author creates the image in the audience's head of the ocean, and as she continues to go on to say, of happiness which I cannot baptize myself in. As a listener in the audience, you can develop this picture in your head of what she is explaining is going on, which allows you to make a deeper connection to the poem itself. And lastly, we have simile. One day it is as small as a firefly in the palm of the bear, the next it's the bear. Using this simile, the author portrays depression to be as small as a firefly. Since Benign writes this poem to mimic a conversation between her and her mother, it does not have a set number of stanzas. Therefore, it is a free verse poem. She carries several tones throughout her poem. Her mother's questions carry a confused and a naive tone, while her response to her mother reveal a more mournful and hysterical tone, which gradually increases as she goes on. Evidence. Since I have determined that this poem is a free verse poem, we cannot rely on the structure to reveal that it fits into the poetry genre. The author does not only make this a poem with her precise use of literary devices, but through the way in which she performs the poem. She connects with her emotions on a deeper level to make the audience feel something through her hysterical tone and body language. As mentioned a few slides ago, Benigna's poem does not exactly follow the lyric poem criteria, yet still has associated qualities. I believe she broke this convention to make her poem more personal. Rather than creating a song, she creates a piece that is a cry for help, not only for herself, but to those who connect to her poem as well. Depression is not a joyful issue to deal with. Therefore, Benigna creates an uneasy atmosphere through her work by breaking conventions. Here I have inserted the video for the performance of Benigna's poem. Let me go ahead and play that real quick. Just kidding.
Explaining my depression to my mother, a conversation. Mom, my depression is a shapeshifter. One day it is as small as a firefly in the palm of a bear. The next, it's the bear. On those days, I play dead until the bear leaves me alone. I call the bad days the dark days. Mom says try lighting candles. When I see a candle, I see the flesh of a church. The flicker of a flame, sparks of a memory younger than noon. I am standing beside her open casket. It is the moment I learn every person I ever come to know will someday die. Besides, Mom, I'm not afraid of the dark. Perhaps that's part of the problem. Mom says I thought the problem was that you can't get out of bed. I can't. Anxiety holds me a hostage inside of my house, inside of my head. Mom says, where did anxiety come from? Anxiety is the cousin visiting from out of town. Depression felt obligated to bring to the party. Mom, I am the party. Only I am a party I don't want to be at. Mom says, why don't you try going to actual parties? See your friends. Sure, I make plans, but I don't want to go. I make plans because I know I should want to go. I know sometimes I would have wanted to go. It's just not that much fun having fun when you know everywhere I have been. Mom still doesn't understand. Mom, can't you see that neither can I?
And lastly, here's my works cited. That is going to be all for my rough draft presentation. Thank you for watching.